folks, this is a new invention, and what it is a geyser pump. But in a geyser pump, it's inside here. Usually there's a tube, a circular tube. And this just is a new thought. I made the thing cone shaped and I put a hole in it and I divided it into sections. So air comes in one side, pushes the water down. Once the water gets to a certain level, it'll go through that hole and shoot out the top, and the water will come out here. Now that's the theory. We've never made one. It's never been made, and it's a total new invention. So what we're going to try is to put the pipe in it and go out and stick it in the pond, see if it actually works.
All right, Dad. Well, why'd you make it a cone shape?
Well, I thought if we had a larger volume at the bottom and a smaller volume at the top, kind of like a tire pump. If you're putting air through a manual tire pump, you got a bigger opening and it goes to a very small pipe, which increases the pressure. So I'm thinking this will increase the pressure of the water, and water won't compress, but the air will, so it should compress more as it goes to the top, and we hope force the water out higher and in a larger volume with a small amount of air pressure.
So cone, more pressure, more water, same space.
Same space. So to my knowledge, it's never been done. It's a new invention. We're going to see if it works. If not, you'll never see the video.
No, on the video, we try not to hide our mistakes because we don't know. That's why we're making it.
This hasn't existed before, so if it works, guys, y'all can make one. Now we did it on I did it on a 3D printer using Tinkercad, but all it is simply a hollow cone, a spacer with a hole in the middle, and these fit half-inch pipe. I thought, that would save a fitting or two. And we're into that, saving fittings, because we collect more PVC pipe than anybody in the neighborhood, I believe. But this one is for water. This one's for air for no particular reason. But I just think this bigger, stronger pipe is better for the water part of it.
If you wanted to make one at home, you could probably grab like a 3-inch piece of PVC pipe, a cap, drill some fittings through the cap, and then put some kind of blockage in the middle. It would work about the same way if you don't have an access to a 3D printer. I was just trying to think how to make it. It wouldn't be the cone, and if not, I just thinking that might be another way to do it. But we're going to see. Well, we might wait and see if it works. But before I try to make it another way to do it. So this is Dad's newest pump, which is called...
This one is called... I haven't named this thing.
I'm going to say cone pump.
Hey, that sounds better than the dog pump because it doesn't look like a dog. Okay, let's go with cone pump. I like that.
If you guys have a better name, leave in the comments and we'll use it.
It looks like one of those spaceships. We could make it the spaceship one, right? That wouldn't have anything to do with water or anything else, would it?
It's not
okay.
Like we
make pump it is.
We make it pretty confusing anyway. If you guys have a better answer, leave in the comments. So, negative things about making it out of 3D print is this is PLA, and it's not really suggested to be used outside. It's not really suggested to be used for what we're doing. But we have a bunch of it. It's the cheapest. And it's, again, this is a prototype. But the problem we have is you can't really 3D print a fitting on here. We found out it breaks, and breaks easy. So Dad came up with a great idea. Why not make a hole that would fit PVC pipe? PVC a lot stronger than PLA. And these are extruded, which are a lot stronger than 3D printing. Uh-oh, Dad.
Uh-oh.
Dad, what's that German word you're saying?
Loose and slopping?
Loose and slopping. But you know what? With the glue on it, it's not going to matter. It's going to seal up fine. And if anything, I'm going to put a little bit extra on the top of each one and let this sink into it. Because all we're trying to do is make a pseudo water/airtight connection. We don't want it to bubble right there. It's because then we wouldn't get our water. Or the air would leak out and we'd have less air pressure inside, which would mean less water. And I'm going to get fancy here. This cement's pretty strong when it dries. I'm just going to put just a little on the weakest spot. Again, when we decide, if this works like a charm, which never understood these charms don't work, but if it would just work like we want it to. We'll build it out of something tougher, and then Dad'll most likely add little bosses on each side of the inlet and outlet.
I have
To
to make a
strengthen it.
disclaimer, Darren. Not all charms work, so just be aware of
I
that.
never understood that term. I say it all the time, and I was like, why do I say that? It's silly. But so am I. Here we go. This is a little bit of overkill, especially for a test. But the upshot is this will dry in about 2 or 3 minutes, and we'll be ready to go. And these look, oh yeah, they're already pretty solid. I can't turn, which I'm not trying too hard, but it's easier to turn those than that. So that means it's sealing. So give it a few minutes. We'll add a couple fittings up here. There we have them. Dad swore everything was ready. I'm kidding. It's all right here. I suck your ass, Dad. All right. I might even cut that down a touch, just because that's a little bit of a waste.
And what is that fitting for?
This is a water fitting. If you've seen any of our videos, this will be a little redundant, but what this is we're going to use this for air. I know it's a water hose, and we're using water and air, but air hose is a little pricier, a little harder to find. It's not everywhere. You probably don't have just the length of air hose laying around, but most people have the length of garden hose. We found out you can get longer, cheaper, and all the fittings are already pre-made. They're already there. So we already have the air pump set on a garden hose adapter. So garden hose is just an easy answer, an easy fix for. If we had to buy air fittings for everything we make, it'd get pricey. And I know what you're thinking, but you're using PVC and air pressure. That's silly, and it is. Except our air pressure isn't 110 or 120 like most air compressors. We figured it up. At best, we're getting 4 pounds of pressure, 4 to 5 pounds of pressure, but most times far less than that. We see them work better with even less pressure, which kind of breaks my brain, but it happens. All right, so there's a finished cone pump. We're going to put a coupler here to give it a little bit more, to make sure you can see it outside of Dad's pond. We're going to give it a couple more seconds or minutes to let this dry so we don't kill Dad's fish. And hopefully we'll see something kind of dramatic in the next shot.
All right, we're going to take it out here to the famous pond that's blue, and you've heard the story of why it's blue. We did Darren's pond with the same amount of colorant that we used in this pond, and you don't need that much colorant in that small a pond.
We got a great idea, we thought, we thought if we add that blue, I wouldn't have so much moss. I decided to go fishing in my pond, which I have a bunch of little spawning fish. It was fun, except I was bringing in half a pound of moss every time I cast. I was like, hey, Dad, do you have any ideas how to get rid of that moss? And he's like, and of course, like Dad fashion, he didn't say anything at first, said, I'll think about it. Then the next day he said, well, it's on the way. It's bluing. I was like, well, I don't know if I want my pond blue. She's like, but it'll stop the photosynthesis and keep the plant life down, so you won't have to do that. And at first, it didn't really work. And then we didn't really understand why. We thought I didn't put enough in, and then I had a huge rainstorm that just poured all the moss and stuff out of my pond down the spillway. And then I blued it right after that. And since then, I don't have the same plant growth I did before. So I think that's the answer. But we did add the same amount in this when we were learning how.
Of course, he never teases me about it, about frogs.
There's got to be blue frogs around here. I saw tadpoles in there. They have to be blue. All right. This looks like the end of a hose. A little bit exciting. I hoped it was a hose and not a, not a hose. And it might already be in. All right. That one, I believe, is running that one. Let's see what this one's doing. Just in the water. All right. Good news.
It was resting there. I think it was asleep.
Dad does this on purpose. Don't let him fool you. This is just so I get blue because I'm making fun about the frogs.
Well, I didn't think he caught on, folks. Now, he's catching on to
stuff. It's not as bad as it was at first when we did this. I pulled the hose out. When I grabbed the hose, I was blue. I swore it was out of meanness, but I guess this time I might have left it in there too. All right. So we'll screw that on tight, so hope it doesn't leak there, but not tight enough that I'll worry about breaking it. If you look here, there's the salad bowl fly swatter right above me. One of the other experiments. All right. Now, I just got to be smart enough to figure out which hose it is. We already have one pump running. The pumps don't like head pressure, so you never want to deadhead it. But here we go. Here we go. Anytime. And here we go. There we go. Now it's pointing at me, so it'll work really well, I'm sure. All right. We do want to make sure there's no tilt, because that would, not do what it'd find the water.
Are you sure there's air coming to it?
No.
Okay, we may have to go turn the other pump on. That's what I'm wondering.
No, I just turned it on now, and it will be, feels like it'll be pumping soon. I feel it.
Folks, this doesn't look good.
All right. I can feel the air going through. Let's bring
But
it
it's
up.
not pumping out. Okay. There's a distance on it. Okay.
Dad does this. I'm sure he knew it was a
I would
issue.
not know that it would hit him right square in the eye and get
He
his...
says, well, let's try it. I don't think it's going to work, Darren. All right. Okay. At a level, all the way on the bottom, we don't get anything. I'm picking it up. Well, you can see. There. I can feel it working.
Okay, it does work, but it does have a limitation on depth. I
All right,
think it's
so
because of the larger volume of water.
does that mean more air pressure, you think, Paul?
Yeah, more air pressure.
But look, compared to... Okay, what happened? The other one died. Because this one is...
Okay, you may have to turn off the other one because you may be splitting the air.
It's picking the path of least resistance.
Right, okay, turn the other one off.
I'll put it all the way to the bottom. Let's see if the other one starts. Look at that.
That's it.
It's air pressure, but not like we thought.
We're using the same pump on both pumps, and
Just because I didn't want to... We talked about just a second ago about deadheading the pump. And I didn't want to deadhead the air pump. So I've made sure that one was running. But then it just goes, the air pressure goes to the path of least resistance. So when I have this all the way down, that one will pump. See?
yeah.
That is the extra pressure. All right, so what I'm going to do is open one to the atmosphere. Go through Dad's jungle here and get the controls freed up.
I planted those so they grow. No, I didn't.
And then now I've killed this. It's open here, and this one's all the way open. So I'm going to shut this, aim this away from my face.
And the camera. You don't want to get the camera. Of course, I'm behind the camera.
Yeah, I'm really worried about the camera. And I'll try to get it away fast enough so you don't see me get shot with blue water. All right. Let me get going.
Well, there we
Let's
go.
prove it works. Okay, see if we go too high, you can just hear the air come out. See, because it's not bringing any water with it, because there's not enough pressure around the vessel. So I'm bringing it down. Now it's bringing water. More water. More water.
Oh, yes.
All right, we're hitting the bottom.
But, folks, we're only using 4 pounds of pressure.
The design you made may need more air pressure.
This may require more air pressure, folks, because it is a different design.
And Dad, you have 2 air pumps and you're running 1, correct?
Yeah, that's just one.
We have the ability to give it more air. So with a quick edit, you'll probably see us with more air pressure.
All right.
In case anybody's wondering, this is what Dad uses for air pressure.
And some of them go up a little more than 4 pounds, but most of the time it's 4 pounds when it gets up here due to leaks and everything.
Anywho. All right. So we can plug in here. So we need to hook it to the hose. And we're going to hook it to this manifold. Because we're only using this one and this one. And we're shutting off this one for the experiment. So I'm gonna grab another piece of Dad's hose I found over there. I'm gonna connect them. And we're gonna put more air pressure in there. If you see some of these old pipes, we have that's always an experiment in the backyard. And some of these are just old experiments. And you can see, I mean, that one even came off. I'm not real worried. I'm gonna shove it in there and I might grab the drill, tighten up this bolt. But we're going on so low air pressure, we don't really have to worry too much. In fact, I'm gonna try it just like it is. And we're just hooking up the air pressure from the new air pump, the extra air pump, into the same air manifold. So that should give us a little more pressure. And if you notice why I chose this one, Dad's already made it a double female. Now this might blow off, and if it does, we'll tighten it. I'm just trying to get through this without having to run back to the garage. And like you've probably heard too many times already, it's really low pressure. Together, if both of them were combined, we're talking 8 pounds of pressure. It's amazing what pressure difference can do, though. That's all Dad's inventions with this air pump works. Just the difference in air pressure. All right, I'm gonna kick it on, and then I'm gonna open this valve real quick because I don't want to give it pressure to it before I kick it on. All right. With it open to the atmosphere, we're already getting a lot of air pressure through there. When you have a path of least resistance right next to it, I'm pretty confident we're going to see something. Well, what's wrong? You know what? I think I know. Now let's see.
Whoa! You know that bluing is handy. You know your black shirt will be blue, I think, by this thing. All right. Success, folks. This is success.
And I bet pressure to time, we can even guess how much explosions are in a minute. And we catch one, we can kind of guesstimate even how many gallons a minute it pulls. But Dad, I think this might be our best pump.
All right. We got a pump that works, folks. And we had no idea whether it'd work or not. You can see how high it's shooting up there. I don't know if you can see in the air, but it's shooting way up in the air.
I think the deeper I go, the more water we'll get. This still has a little too much air in it. Your pond's just not deep enough, Dad.
We think we may have to have an experiment in his pond. But we've got another success, folks. That's a new invention. It's successful.
We can kind of guesstimate on the right amount of pressure, maybe a couple one-way valves, and we can get more pumps working in the pond. But yeah. So we add another pump to it.
We couldn't think of an animal that looked like, folks, so we just called it.
We're calling it a cone pump.
Cone. It's actually a form of geyser pump, but it's not really. It's a little different.
And I'm about to say, I don't know if we really explained Dad. I don't know if I got a good shot of it. There's a hole right in here. And you can almost hear it hit this hole and shoot. You thunk around it.
And that's nothing more than like a funnel with a spacer in it with a hole in it. It's super simple to make, and you can make one of those out of something else.
If you have a 3D printer, and you want to make one, and you're interested and want us to solve the problem, leave a comment and say, hey, I don't have a 3D printer. How do you make this?
Or if you like a project made or something you're interested in, or if we're doing something you like, put a comment down below and let us know. We'll do more of those.
And I hate to say it, but wouldn't mind if you hit subscribe and like and stuff. Wouldn't be a bad thing. Thank you guys for watching.